Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations, where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the Daily Office Lectionary. And we have now reset our lectionary set of readings because we've begun a new church season. So we've been doing a lot of Isaiah lately. We did that during Christmas time, a lot of readings from Isaiah. And we worked our way through St. John's first epistle and the letter to the Hebrews. Now we've started a new season, and with that we have a reset. We'll have our lessons in morning and evening prayer from Proverbs, from Ephesians, from John's Gospel, and from Ezekiel. So I thought let's take a look at the reading from Proverbs. Remember, Proverbs is a set of wisdom sayings that help us to learn how to live according to God's will. Proverbs chapter 1, beginning at verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those who go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance, and we shall fill our houses with spoil, casting in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse. My son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. For their feet run to evil, and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, and they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Okay, so first of all, boom, opening line of this reading, right? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, and that fools despise wisdom and instruction. And of course, assuming mom and dad are people of faith, people who are following the law of the Lord, it says you have to hear the instruction of your father and your mother, because they'll be like, a crown on your grace on your head and decorative chains about your neck, right? But then the warning from the writer of Proverbs goes on to say, look, there are going to be people who are going to entice you. They're going to say, join us with us, and we'll take stuff away from other people. We'll steal, we'll rob, we'll murder. But boy, think of all the gain we'll get. And there's that, the Proverbs writer warns us that we have to be very careful for those who are greedy for gain, including our own fallen condition. If the gain of stuff becomes our end all and our be all, then we will be tempted to run with these sort of folks who will lead us astray. I remember saying that my mother used to say, and I used to hate when I heard it, but she'd say, hey, show me the type of people you're hanging out with, and I'll tell you the kind of person you are. And so you will find yourself, if you're hanging out with people who are doing wicked things, even if you're not doing the wicked things, and people who are robbing and stealing, even if you're not doing the robbing and stealing, they're bad. They will be a bad influence to you, and you will be caught up with them. And many folks, even with the strongest constitution, if you spend too much time with those who have no properly formed conscience, will find themselves starting to incrementally creep into things that are not God's way and the way that God would have us live. So it's very important for us to seek godliness, to be continually instructed in the law of the Lord and how it is He'd have us live through the life of prayer, through the teaching of the church, through the instruction of those who are doing those things. All that stuff adds up to our staying on the beam and not being distracted and falling into all sorts of occasions of sin, which will draw us away from God. So Proverbs, like I said, it's all good wisdom saying and great advice. Today's Monday. We do have a 12:15 Holy Communion service and 4 o'clock evening prayer. I do hope that we will see you in church. May you have a day full of blessings.